Happy to be done?
Yes.
That was an eye roll, if I've ever seen one.
I mean, I still have to paint one more thing, or Nate and I have to paint one more thing, but we're done after that. I mean, I cannot wait to go home.
See, go a little more. Right there. Making our own long bed.
Better.
Better. The truck might do a wheelie out of here.
Nice try.
Why'd you bring the camera in?
All right, what did you guys do on this house?
Better questions, what did we not do on this house? But we'll start with the front. So we did the siding, all the trim, covered up that hole.
So when it says the siding and the trim, we painted all the trim, replaced all the trim. The corners on the bottom and the front. We built the staircase, painted the soffit. We're about to get this bird poop off the front of the house. That's a new addition.
Womp womp womp.
This roof, the front of the roof actually came out another like 1.5 feet, but it was all rotted away.
We made this new access door to get under the house back here. We got all new electrical.
The old box inside the house was only 100 amp breakers. To be up to code to put washers and dryers and fuses for the water heater, we had to upgrade to a 220 box, and they moved it to the outside of the house.
Then we did all the window trim on this side as well as that fence over there. So we'll go around and see the other side.
Yeah.
The light pole's in the back. I think the first video just pushed it over.
Pull the light pole out. They had that old fence that we pulled down. Put this new fence up. When I pull up to the house every day, or when I come over here, my favorite thing to see is this fence next to this blue house.
So we built the fence so we could take out this pole. This middle pole is removable. So you can drive cars back here, boats, RVs, whatever you want. But we have a tenant that decides that or if they have something that they need to store. Some of the windows, there's a couple broken windows. One came with the house. The second one happened while we were fixing the house, but we ended up replacing, instead of the whole windows, the glass panes in the window.
So we had all the plumbing redone completely. From right here on is all brand new. So he installed this nice shut-off valve for us. All new supply lines, all new drains all the way to the other side of the house from the end of the property. And then all new lines going from the water heater to all the sinks, the bathtub. So the back of the house was pretty much the same. Built these stairs. This house did not have washer and dryer hookups, so we added them and installed the dryer outlet.
One of the additional things that we did is, because this is a pier and beam foundation, instead of siding all the way across, we also built another access cover. So for future maintenance repairs or plumbing repairs, there'd be ease of access underneath the house. Yeah, we replaced the roof. Some of the decking was replaced, some of the old rotted wood. But with the new roof came all the new hardware and the different vents that you can see around the house. They replaced all of that as well.
We'll put up some pictures of how the foundation used to look. Some stumps under there that just had tons of little sticks holding the house up. And how bad it was. When they redid it, they installed these concrete cylinders and pulled out all the old stuff and then leveled the house.
They added, instead of using bricks, they added metal shims to get the calculations perfect. So those metal shims should last longer than the old pieces of wood that were originally under there.
It's a lot more stable now.
So one of the longest, most painful things we did was cleaning this whole place out. I don't even remember how many dump runs we made.
It was a lot, and it was, I think, 1 or 2 with a trailer, and the total weight of trash was, I think, around 6,000 pounds.
Yep.
So it was pretty rough, just thinking that we lifted all that stuff up at least one time.
Once to get it in the truck or trailer, then once to throw it in the dump.
So at least twice. There was times where we were taking stuff out and making a pile and organizing it to be able to pack it in the truck perfectly.
Packing trash, I think one of the biggest lessons learned is the amount of time that we spent doing that and the cost of all the dump runs. It would have saved us probably time, maybe washed on the money, if we had just gotten a big dumpster and picked it up once and just thrown it in the dumpster.
Yeah, because we picked everything up at least two times.
Yeah. So like the house, we did the same thing to the garage, all new siding, all the trim, everything painted.
We actually removed this Dump was up to about here. We pulled it down. So same with the back. We did that, but instead of just putting because the front and the side were sealed pretty well, the back had pretty big gaps in the wood. Even though this seals, and we're not really worried about water going in this way, we had a ton of roof shingles that we put on this to waterproof it a little better.
The rest of the yard, there was, I think it was in a video, there was some debate about some of the other trees that were on the property, and we ended up getting rid of both of those trees and cleaning up. I think, Cody, you had a video of you pulling down the chicken coop.
Yep.
So the chicken coop was pulled down with a car, and that was also part of all the trash that we had to haul to the dump.
It might not look like it, but we did a decent amount of yard work. These trees that surround the property were very overgrown, so we actually trimmed them all.
The side of the garage, some of the metal planks that were used for the roof on this garage, they were all hanging over. Someone just threw them on there to get it covered, but it was all uneven and really, it wasn't dangerous, but really janky looking. So it was actually a team effort that it took to get this garage cut, and 2 grinder blades. I think I took some time grinding away at it. Cody did, as well as Jackie. I think he even took a swing at it, but it took a while. It got cut eventually, and definitely makes it look a lot cleaner.
So we decided to leave the horseshoe for good luck. This room is the room we worked on the least, actually. We installed the wall heater, painted the entire room, installed new blinds, had a giant crack from before they fixed the foundation. We replaced this light to match the light in there. Cleaned and painted the baseboards, and then these are new. The old style one was right here, and Nate patched that up and painted it.
All right, so in this room, we'll start here where there was no door, so we had to add the door. The guys had to, it wasn't even the right size. They don't make any that are the right size, so the guys had to kind of get creative. So they even added the trim because that wasn't there. We repainted the entire room. We also added the baseboards in this room, similar to the room next door. We finished the closet here because it wasn't finished. The guy had started it, but it didn't have the bars. It wasn't all finished right here and textured. And then we, of course, we added this little curtain. So the reason we did these curtains is I discovered while looking for doors that they don't make doors that are this size. So we would have either had to make doors like from scratch, or we could get creative, and we had these in my house growing up, so I figured this would kind of be a quick fix to the random sized openings here. So this used to be gold. We painted it black and then added these like industrial style wiring around the lights. There used to be a breaker box in this room that the guys kind of touched on while they were outside. That was all out of code. This house was way too old, and so it had to be moved outside. So we had a giant hole in the wall from where the breaker box used to be that had to be patched, and that was another reason we had to repaint the entire room. We steam cleaned all of the floors, and we've also vacuumed all of the floors. None of the floors have been replaced. To our knowledge, they were pretty new. So we left all of the floors. They went really well with the house, and we kind of figured that we'll replace them as they wear out over time.
So in the dining room, one of the main focal points, the center of the house, there's a lot we actually had to do. Right away, we relocated the light that was originally in the ceiling over here to try to get the fixture out of the way, to open up the room a little bit. All of the paint we had to touch up. There was numerous holes in the wall that needed to be patched. Some of the drywall needed to be replaced. Same with the ceiling. There was the window. The window was another one. This was one of the windows that wasn't broken when we bought the house, but needed to be replaced. And that was replaced. Window units installed, as well as the blinds. One of the biggest things was we had wall heaters installed. There's no HVAC system in the house, so we have window units for the cooling and then wall heaters installed for the heating. So we chose the location of that and had the electricians come and install those.
So when we first bought this house, water heater was incorrectly hooked up. It was also wired the wrong way, and there was no drain pan to drain if something went wrong. And then also the ceiling in here was open to the attic. So we wanted them to be able to have a closet. So we actually added a closet to the bedroom and gave them some spots to hang up some clothes. Did the trim, did the texturing, the paint, of course. We added this nice little curtain. We added this ceiling fan because the other one hung down like this low, and who wants a fan that you're gonna hit your head on when you walk through? But we actually had to cut this wall open to get to the plumbing for the bathtub because it was incorrect. One night when we were working in here, Nate actually realized that the ceiling was sagging down. The drywall was just nailed into it and it was slowly falling down, so we had to fix all that. So this plug was actually right here, was the other room before, and so we actually relocated this plug from right here back to right here.
I think if there was one place that we could have maybe spent, if we wanted to spend a little bit more money, it would have probably been in the bathroom to kind of bring it up to date. So we did new trim on the way in because there was just like a giant gap right here. We added some vinyl plates that look like wood back here to give it a little bit more character because it was just very boring. Other than that, we'll move into this part of the bathroom. We really left a lot of this the way it was. The only things that have been done, painted the mirror, the plumbing was all redone in here. The guys had to redo the hardware in the shower and the bathtub. And then I think really the biggest thing in here is that we added an exhaust fan.
Yeah.
So that we don't get mold. And so one of the rules out here is you either have to have a window in the bathroom or an exhaust fan. We also had to have the plugs and the electrical in here redone. So we kept a lot of this stuff because it really is in good shape. This is a really old porcelain tub. You can't really find these, so while it is pink and kind of an eyesore, it is really good quality.
So this is the third and final bedroom. This was the room that originally had the negative space on that wall, which allowed us to create the closet in the middle bedroom. So what we did is we moved the wall, so now it's the perfect square. We had to patch the wall, add the sheet of drywall. This exterior wall, used to be a couple windows here, so there was a lot of repairs that we did on that. Whole room was painted, ceiling was painted, and then the same as the other room with the fan, this fan was painted the same scheme and added as well. Other than that, painted the closet, added the bar in there for clothes. So the pantry was torn apart when we bought the place.
Nate actually added some drywall in here because there was just exposed wires. So we added those and we painted the holes and everything. So we replaced the countertop, reused the sink, but cut a hole out for it, put the sink in there. We pulled off all the cabinet doors and repainted those. Added new hardware, added a couple light switches for, there's a plug-in under there that we added for future garbage disposal if we so choose. The dishwasher, it's the same dishwasher, and the plumber actually re-plumbed it to be correct. There was tile that was installed here. It messed up the drywall pretty bad, so we had to retexture this whole wall. We added this little piece of trim on here as well, actually, to make it look fancy. So, like I said, outside, we didn't have any washer and dryer hookups in this house. And so the plumber installed hookups for it, the electricians installed hookups for it, and we bought this nice stackable set so it could be nice and convenient.
A big conversation we had though was trying to decide the best spot for a washer and dryer hookup. Well, we went through kind of the whole house and we decided the best bet was the kitchen. It was going to be easiest to have an exhaust vent, and then also the plumbing was right here for the kitchen to add for the water hookups. Well, I'll be sure to point out that Haley designed and built most of the vent cover hood here.
She made it so you can just lift it up, turn the light on, the fan, you can leave it like that, cook. It's kind of it just hides the old, the fan and everything.
We reused the fan and it definitely needed to be hidden.
Reused the stove that came with the house. We just deep cleaned it. That's about it for the kitchen.
A lot of times the video doesn't catch us like quickly walking through all this. It doesn't catch all like the little things that happen, like the, hundreds of nails and fixtures that were on the outside of the house that we had to remove on the garage to put up the siding, the trim. Things like, like Cody just pointed out, all the plumbers and the electricians, they installed all this. Well, this wall had to be pretty much taken apart for them to do it and find the right joist to put everything in.
All the way up to the ceiling and all the way to the ground.
So then it's taking time to put that back, plastering everything, painting. So there's just a lot of little things that go unseen or untalked about that end up taking a lot of time.
Thanks for watching Season 1 finale of Operation Restoration. Make sure to subscribe for all future seasons and to stay up to date with the Perucci gang.